Whether you're living through a pandemic or not, artists need to find a way to keep hopeful through the ups and downs of their career. When we come back, we're going to talk about ways to keep hopes high. How you doing, and welcome to Music Industry City's Monday Kickoff, where we offer up important tips for a successful career and get you motivated for the week ahead. I'm Peter Schwing, and joining me today is my fellow co-host, Aisha Damo. Dave has the week off. If there's something you'd like to chime in about, join us in the chat or leave a comment below. And what we started doing, and it's turned out really cool, is after we do the segment, we roll the credits, and then we come back. So if you are in the live chat, hang out, and you can chat with us, and Aisha will come back, and we're just going to chit-chat about stuff, and would love to hear your thoughts, what you're interested in, and without further ado, let's get right to this and bring Aisha up to the stage. Aisha, what's up?
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I am doing good. How are you doing?
Well, and very good. Happy Valentine's Day. A day later, you're still sporting the red.
Valentine's Day, Lunar New Year, President's Day weekend. It's a cornucopia of holidays.
It's a super celebration day.
Yeah,
With the Lunar New Year's, I mean, you did a little video, didn't you?
I sure did. Yes. And I sang in Chinese, and some people understood it, and many people did not. But it was cute and silly anyway. Actually, so my Instagram people, are super positive about it, but like on TikTok, I have total haters about it who are like, I don't know about this.
Well, I mean, anything with social media, you're going to find the haters. Somebody's going to say something about something. So
Haters gonna hate.
hate is going to hate. So, so let's talk about what is going on with the pandemic and the fact that, artists, everybody's struggling in some way. Others are coming up with unique, creative ways that are leading the charge when they get out of this. As with anything, if business, if you have an artist career, it's like starting a business in the sense, and you have the ups and downs. So you're going to have people flocking to you, then all of a sudden nobody's responding, and then you're going to have some hits, you're going to have some misses. How do we stay, I guess, how do we stay focused and also get through, especially mentally, in this kind of space where, especially as an artist, it's a bigger roller coaster ride than any other area?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it is that, hope isn't over there or out there. It's in here, it's local. And that's kind of the vibe of what I want to talk about today.
All right, well, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, so here we are talking about hope in the middle of a pandemic. And this even in this, very topsy-turvy year, we've all had our ups and downs this year for sure. There have been signs of this thing called hope. And I've been trying to really focus on those good things, even if they're small, which I think is really important to do. We have, this is not a small thing, the valiant work of our medical professionals, of our first responders, of all those people who are out there in the workforce, keeping the wheels turning. We have like these young, bright Amanda Gormans who wow us with some lovely words that hit us at the core, which is what we do as artists. And we have, for many of us, this renewed sense of value in our time, in our lives. And that's a more personal thing. But I think so many artists that I've talked to have really had this new sense of like, oh, I really value my time in a new way. I really value my interactions in a new way. And also, we have each other, which is huge. This past President's Day weekend, there have been some disappointments, to say the least, in the way that many of us would like to see justice served. And sure, that's a thing. But perhaps we're looking too far afield for these big things like hope and justice. And maybe we need to find them a little closer to home, to find that balance. that we seek in this distant place on the world stage, maybe we need to find that a little closer to where we are and set that gaze on what's right around us right here. In our creative work, in an industry that has been hit really hard by the pandemic, no one can deny it, there are times when hope feels like a far off thing. But the thing is, we're also an industry that brings hope to so many people. And that's a very big purpose of entertainment. And the need for that has only increased during this time. So it's really important that we find the inspiration to continue to inspire. And for that, instead of looking in the lofty places, I suggest we go local. I suggest that we find the hope right here where we are, in the people around us, in the surroundings that, our environment. This could mean checking in with a friend that we haven't spoken to in a long time, just touching base, or putting real presence into our online interactions. Let's be present with the people who are right here, because this is what our lives and our memories are truly made of, more than what is going on the national stage and on the world stage. So when we decide to do a Zoom or message someone online, let's really do it this week. Let's try this out and not take it for granted. If we're spending some time snuggling with a pet, let's really do that. If we're out taking a walk in nature, let's really see those trees, see the snow or the grass, depending on what kind of terrain you're in. Let's be present for it and let's live it like it's real, because it is. This is our earth plane. This is what's real now. And we can truly be present for it and enjoy it and find that hope in the presence. So, this kind of consciousness for the simple things creates inspired action. And that, I think, is contagious. It's a thing that as creatives that we're very practiced at finding within ourselves, that we can also ride the wave of it from others. Like when we interact with others, we don't always need to be the generators of all the hope in the room, of all the inspiration on the stage. We can ride what's going on, just like we ride the energy of a crowd, of an audience that we perform in front of. We can ride what's in the room and what's in the environment around us to build up our hope, and also to turn that back, to just receive it and release it, so that it's an endless cycle of generating this energy and sharing it. So don't be afraid to let people in right now, and be present with them, to be yourself around others and to inspire them through just being yourself around them, just sitting in that presence. This is the work of the artist and the work of really living. These are the bridges and tissue that connects us all. And they're right here. They're local. They're not out there. They are out there, but all the out there starts right here. And everything that you're going to achieve as an artist that's big and out there starts right here. So I hope you'll take this week and have that kind of energetic exchange with others and build this kind of hope between you. It's a bridge and a scaffolding and a sacred geometry that connects us all. And it starts right here where you are today. So I hope you'll check it out this week.
Right on, right on. Yeah, there's a few things that I really picked up. You know, for musicians, it's that almost that calling, like music inspires people, and what a lot of musicians may not realize, that right now is an amazing opportunity to help inspire people that you may not even know you're doing. It's like right now, because many are saying, oh, I might hold off my album release, or I might do this, or my single release, or my EP. It's like the world deserves to hear your music. And
Absolutely.
and the fact is, there are things you can do on social media that incorporate you as a person. And artists many times just get stuck in the, I use social media for, here's my release, go find me on Spotify, go find me on Apple, go find here's my video. Instead of creating that connection where you can just hop on Instagram and you can talk and share about what you're doing. I see a lot of musicians over on Twitch, and they're talking about with their fans and their audience and their followers is what they're going through, and they're sharing that, and then they're playing music, and that has created such an engagement and a community. And people, you watch those comments like, thank you so much, you've inspired me. So if you go out on Instagram, and here's another thing, here's a great opportunity. And we're going to talk about Clubhouse in a second, because it's the buzz
Yeah.
right now, so it's almost like you can't get away from it. But the thing is about having conversations together, kind of like what we're doing right now, is having a conversation, and people get to tune in and they can join in the chat. And you, as a musician, can have a conversation with other musicians by simple starting an Instagram and telling them, "Hey, show up my Instagram feed. I'm going to add you to it," and people can watch us having a conversation talking about music.
Yeah, I mean, opportunity for connectivity in that way is really huge. And like you're mentioning Clubhouse, I've definitely found in the past few weeks that that has been a really bold new inspiration for me just to connect with people. It's almost like, it's the meeting of the most, popular app right now, I would say, with this old time radio feel. It has this warmth to it where, because you're really tuning into people's voices, and that's, all that's on the app. You can't, type in a message to people there. It's just the voice. And there's something about that. There's something about really reaching people and joining them in that way that is quite powerful and much needed at this time. So I think artists will really find, if they do, reach out to their fans in this way and do, put their work out at this time, because we all need inspiration right now. I think it's going to be a good thing. I think it's
Yeah.
going to be a really good thing.
Voice is so powerful, and the other thing about Clubhouse is because it's passive listening, and people can just kick it back like a radio, like you said. It's radio, that's passive listening, and you get to hear some people in the industry or musicians that you would never ever have had the opportunity to hear them speak freely. Like,
Yeah.
here's my thoughts on something, here is what I'm working on, we're doing this. But the connection and the connectivity of being able to, and I think that's the part two of this, and that's why I go back to, is if a musician could say, talk to a fellow musician, they might be chatting and might be saying, oh, I'm having a hard time with this. Well, you can go public with that, in that sense of saying, let's have this conversation in video and have other people join, or let's start our own Clubhouse room. It's being able to talk about that. And once you start saying, hey, I'm doing this, you can find that people, and it takes one person, it takes two. If you're doing something and, like you say, I just want to talk about this, maybe you might be a little down, you'll find that people will respond and say, hey, you really inspired me because I might have been down, or what you're doing has really helped me. And that is a dopamine shot. That is a shot of dopamine. If you're down and somebody says, wow, you've inspired me, all of a sudden you're like, wow, oh, wait a second. I have purpose. I have meaning. There's something that gets you back out of the funk, being able to connect. And that's what music is about.
Absolutely. And the hope goes back and forth, you volley it back and forth. So it's worth taking advantage of. It's funny, on Friday, on Chinese New Year's, there was a Bling Empire room on Clubhouse, and one of the leads in that was talking about how she's getting death threats because she's slightly the villain in this reality storyline, but really not. Actually, there are many things in the series that you understand what she's going through and why she is the way she is, but still opening up about the hate that she was getting from some people, and hearing it in her voice too. There's something about that, and just the voice, not the visual. It's very compelling, and you understand. And so, we're doing music in an audio medium here. We're in a medium of the voice, of sonorities and chords and melodies, and we're in this sea of sound. And it's such a powerful, powerful tool. So yeah, there's a lot out there, and hope is there, people. That's all I got to say.
Well, and it goes back to, like, you can take it back to ancient times and play this in the harmonies of the universe.
Absolutely. Well, I could get into that for
Yeah.
days. That's my shit right there.
Well, maybe we'll do that when we come back. So we're going to wrap up the segment, and then so stick around after we roll the credits. We're going to come back for anybody in the chat, and we're going to just continue the conversation. All right. So that is going to be it for today. If you're interested in more of what we're talking about, hit that like, subscribe, any of those buttons, the heart, whatever platform you're on, and join us in the conversation. Let us know what you're interested in. If there's something you want to ask us, let's do that. So once again, thank you so much to my co-host Aisha Adamo, and have a rockin' week. Cheers. I'm going to press that button there. That should work.
Yeah.
All right. So, what people can't see is because I have the monitor here, and the production monitor, and it shows all the scenes and the preparations and everything. So I can see you in like the little square over here. And so I love it always, like, and Dave does it. And I love when everybody does, like, we have the rolling the intro or the outro and the music's going and like people like dancing in the background.
Totally.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's like but getting in the vibe. So hold on a second. I need to drink out of my Music Industry City mug.
Ooh.
I love this logo.
Everything tastes better in a Music Industry City mug.
It does.
That's what I've heard.
It tastes 17% better.
Ooh.
Proven fact. Scientifically proven by me. So Plato, the whole theory and the harmonies of the universe, and
yes,
it's there's something that I've been seeing, and we're talking about, like, there's coincidences, and then the term synchronicity. Okay, and it's these things that. What I've been seeing is, like, especially with technology that's happened in the last few years and the growth and everything, but we have so many new opportunities. We have VR that's now catching on, taking off. We have this blockchain, crypto. These are taking off. We have there's big changes in the music industry, and we have live streaming, which has been taking off. And we also have, like, computer systems that are now taking off. I mean, I don't want to get, like, too way off into the technical side, but, like, on the PC side, the CPU processor war is on a level never seen before. Ryzen's taken out Intel. Intel is no longer with Apple. Apple has these new M1 computers. It's like this kind of like a perfect storm of awesomeness happening while we are in this kind of lockdown and, like, this terrible circumstances. There's a lot of amazing things that are going on, and it's like, and you have Clubhouse, and we go back to Clubhouse, and we have these different ways of connecting, and people are connecting with people they haven't spoken to in 10 years. I was speaking to people, like, in Ireland that I haven't seen since 2011 when we were last at a conference in France. And connecting, and on a little side note is, I do feel bad for the people across the pond, because a lot of the Clubhouse stuff is US based. So these late night talks are starting at 9 o'clock at night, 12 to like midnight. Yeah. And they're staying up. They're staying up over there.
Even for me, like, a lot of the rooms I go to are LA rooms. And so I'm like up like 3 hours later. Yeah.
Pacific is the worst time zone to do business in. It is absolutely the worst time zone, because if you're doing international, it is like, what do we do? Do we have a meeting at 6 a.m. in Pacific time, or do we have a meeting at 1 in the morning your time, because that's my afternoon? Like we're talking about Europe and stuff, because a lot of international. So Pacific, like at least Eastern, you have a window that works for both
Mm.
sides of the date line. So yeah, but I think there's just like there's this weird kind of like synchronicity happening of like being able to like connect again in a way that we haven't connected, which is creating new connections. And that is something that's been missing, because for things to change, you have to break certain connections and create new connections if you want to change. And that goes along with
Yep.
like the mindset, like, your synapses. If you constantly have this, there's that whole study of like, I think, I forgot the name of the movie. There was a documentary on it. And it actually shows like the more you sit there and tell yourself, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at this, your synapses are firing and connecting over here. And every time you say that, it's the roots are getting deeper. And if you want to change that mindset, you got to like yank it out, stick it over to the positive side, and then you have to reinforce that. So you have to first pull it away, and then you
Right,
got to
which
get
is
it over
not as
there.
easy as you think.
Oh no, it's like pulling a tree out of the ground. I mean, think about it. The more the
Yeah.
tree is, the older the tree, the more foundation, it's like harder to pull it out. And that's what I'm seeing is going on. This, people are struggling in certain ways, but like creating new connections, and that's helping the neural pathway to be like, oh, new opportunities. I'm seeing new things, and that's bringing me out into uh, another area of also that people are discovering themselves. They're saying, this is what I really want to
Yes.
do.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful thing. I mean, I think this could be a time of great growth for everybody. I hope so. I think I don't know, it's been a lot for me. I'm definitely feeling the shifts and I'm liking it. But what you're saying about reinforcing those new habits, it's so important to do. Like, you know, shifting habits is not easy. And even identifying when you're doing the old thing, like that's a big part of it too, to
Hmm.
actually saying, oh, that's me doing the old thing. I need to not do the old thing. Yeah.
It's like, stop doing the old thing. All right, stop, take a break, take a deep breath, and then like recenter, I guess you can say, is like kind of recenter.
Yeah.
All right, stop that, let me reset. Okay, reboot the computer for purge the cache. That's what it, wait, that's it, as in computer terms, it's like the cache. It's just like this lingering files
Yeah.
that are sitting there, like, you need to clear out the cache.
Exactly. I mean, that's presence. Presence is like cleaning out the cache and like being fresh in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, and if it was only as easy as saying and doing.
Like,
So, but it's also like that energy. There's an energy shift going on, and I find that I'm listening to people, and you're seeing like this new creative outlets, and I'm so excited for it. Of what, especially for musicians. There are musicians that are into VR that are learning Unity, and that's the 3D program that games are built on, and they're learning Unity so they can build a world in VR and say, come visit me in my world, and here's my music, and here's my videos, and here's my artwork. And it's not, and they're saying it's a little more complex than this, but they're saying like, if you know how to use Pro Tools and you know how to like, use Logic and Ableton, you already have a lead going into learning this new software, because it's very similar. It's layers of stuff. It's like, where do I put my vocals? Where do I put the guitar? Where do I put this? Where do I blend the kick and the bass in the mix? So if you're looking at it that way, it's Unity is like, I just need to put a wall here. I need to put a floor here. I need to put a ceiling here. And they're learning this stuff in like a month, and they're building some amazing, amazing worlds.
that's incredible. That really is.
Yeah.
And you know me, like, who's like, OG, I just want to just want things to be like retro and I have a resistance to forward motion, but even though I embrace it, like I learn all the new program, you know what I mean? I always do, but like I'm like, oh. So it's good to hear that people are learning that quickly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's not for everybody, of course, but a lot of people are taking up different things too. I mean, there's challenges that, like, musicians are, it's like, well, okay, they're working at a retail store just to, they can't work on their career. They're working at a retail store right now just to make ends meet. And they've never had to do that before. And it's hard. I mean, because that's also mentally draining, that I can't get to what I'm doing because the opportunity there or if they were like,
Yes.
most of their revenue is based on live touring. I mean, that's the biggest hit, if the live touring musicians, and same with people in the industry. I mean, roadies, tech people that relied on these tours, and now they're doing other stuff, and we're going to lose some of them. Some of them are not going to come back. They need the security of that week to week paycheck, and it's unfortunate. But at the same time, it's also opening up doors for others that are figuring out ways to, like, or ready to get in. And it's like, okay, when this is here, this is what I'm planning to do. I'm getting myself ready for when the doors open, I'm running out there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it could be a very big shift of people moving more into their own lane of what they really came to do in the world and what they enjoy doing. So, could be good.
yeah, I think, there's going to be a big change. That's all I know. And you're going to start seeing people in places that you've never seen before.
For sure.
So, all right, what's big plans for you for this rest of this week?
That's a good question. Oh yeah, I have the screening of We Are the Prototypes as part of Kapow Film Festival happening next weekend. So that's cool. And yeah, I don't know. I have to announce stuff like that and make some content. I don't know. Dropping on
There's some
some clubhouse rooms.
Clubhouse, yeah, Wednesday night. So Wednesday night is the
Wednesday night.
Music Industry City Wednesday night social, 9 p.m. Eastern on Clubhouse.
And we want to get more artists in there, like not just, because sometimes it's like really deep in the like knowledge, which is great for artists to be around, like dropping that much knowledge. But I would love to hear more artist questions.
Well, here's the thing, and I've been thinking about this and how I want to start phrasing questions, and because anytime an artist comes in right now on Clubhouse, an artist is asking the same thing. I can list the 10 questions that an artist is going to ask.
Yes, yes,
And
you can.
that's part of the echo chamber that is going on in Clubhouse, and the fact that, I mean, it's you can say this till you're blue in the face, but like some artists just don't know how to pitch or when they shouldn't pitch. Like, you're invited up to speak and they're in a room and it's like, you see this, deadmau5 is in there. And I'm using that as an example because I was there. And guy gets in, it's like, hey, so deadmau5, it's like, love what it's like, how do I pitch my music to you? Or, hey, I have this and my link is in my bio. Can you go listen? I'd like to get your feedback. It's like, it's just stop that. And like the bombardment of sending somebody, you connect on Instagram and, hey, thanks for following. Here's my music. Stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah, like
So,
don't do that. Don't do that.
yeah, I mean,
It's not
that's,
good vibes. It's not chill vibes. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's like you can't do, because you know how many we get. It's stop sliding into my DMs. So, but the thing is, it's creating the new context. But the musicians, I want to start doing questions. I want to get to know the musician. So when they come up, I do this like, hey, shout yourself on, just tell us like kind of what you do, what you work on. So they get the promo, and then I'm just going to talk to them as a person. And I don't want to have questions like, well, what should I do right now because I can't tour? It's like, you have the internet. You've been in every other clubhouse room. Everybody's talking about that. Come here. Let's talk about something different.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's like it's funny because it's like, okay, you're on Clubhouse, so you it's not like you don't understand technology or
mhm.
apps or you know what I mean? Like the irony of asking that question there is sort of interesting.
Right, and
I
they're
don't know.
going into other
Uh-huh.
rooms. I've seen them. I see the names, and they're like they're in other rooms listening, and you're there. People are talking about it. And if you listen, you're like, oh, take notes. But unfortunately, the thing is, people want to be heard. They want to have. They think their question. If they don't get the if they don't present the question, then the answer isn't relevant to them. It's like there's some things across the board that are relevant. And actually, we do have a question over here on
Ooh,
Twitch.
ooh,
What's up?
question.
Not yeah. What's the standard way for new artists today to showcase their music? Sorry if you already said it. I just joined. Hey, well, welcome. Yeah, we're on multiple platforms, so there's
Hello.
questions going around here and there. What's the best way for new artists to showcase their music? Well, okay, as a DJ, I usually can say
I mean, okay, is there a standard way anymore, number one?
no.
Number
That's it.
two, like, I think you need to find the way that is most effective for your brand. So
Hmm.
first you have to know what your brand is and like know who you are as an artist. And so if you know who you are as an artist, like where are your fans? Are your fans on TikTok? Are your fans chilling in Spotify? Are your fans on Insta? Are your fans in Clubhouse? Where are your fans? Are they on YouTube? And then, knowing that, you want to make content for those avenues where you suspect your fans will be looking. You want to lean into those, and it might be trial and error. At first, you might think, I bet my fans are here, and maybe they're not there. Maybe they're somewhere else that you didn't realize. And so there's a trial and error period, I think, with that, but I think, you just trial and error it and then feel where the heat is coming from. But yeah, so putting your music into small content things, as an audio component of something that might be semi unrelated, like on TikTok, that's a good thing to try out. Also, trying out longer form things on YouTube. Good to check it out. Maybe it's there. Maybe it's Twitch. You know, Try things and think about it though. Think about it, and that will probably save you some time if you use the logic gears to, and not logic the program, but the ones in your head, to figure out where to be.
Yeah, there's a few things. There's like ways you can go about it without being direct. Like if you don't have your music, if your music isn't on TikTok, okay, so people can't access your music. But then talk to your distributor. Go to your distributors. Make sure you're at a distribution company that can get you on TikTok, and then create your own videos using your music as a background. But don't even like promote it. Don't even say, "Hey, this is my latest track." Talk about like something that you're interested in. It's like, oh, here's me out in the snow. Here's me doing this, something, and just have it as the soundtrack. That
Yeah,
is
and you can
something.
pop that link in the description
Yeah.
without like taking up time in your video saying it when people would rather hear you do something else or say something else, you know?
Right. And if you're not on TikTok or Instagram or something like that, put your music on in the background. And then, see, sometimes you might get flagged, but so yeah, just be careful. If you have a distributor, make sure your distributor that you look at, like, make sure I'm whitelisted for these platforms. And again, these are the ways to do it. And don't promote it. Here's a little secret is if you don't promote something, it actually works by just having the sound there. You don't have to say, hey, this is my song. You will actually gauge interest. Like somebody might say, hey, that's a really cool track, a really cool song in the background. What is it? Oh, that's mine. And that's how you know if the audience is liking it. So, things like that. And there's one other way I would suggest is, to showcase your music. There are venues that aren't doing, because they aren't doing live, they are hosting virtual shows. So they are. So look at some of your local venues, and especially if you've performed at one of your local venues, then contact them and like take a look to see if they're doing virtual shows and say, how do I get up on, how do I get to join in and put on a show? And, it's not about a concert. Don't use the word concert. It's like you just want to engage. You want to be able to be a person. You want to engage and you want to play, perform. So, and that's part of this whole shift is no longer is it, here's a concert. It's people, the engagement that works is being yourself and being able to, make mistakes. Being able to like say, hey, I'm just going to start this over. It's not a concert where you have to be perfect and the show has to be flawless. This is more about being having connection with people.
Yeah, and I think, well, also that thing you're talking about of being willing to make those mistakes and start over, that really is a big part of becoming a very seasoned artist. Like, I remember seeing Cyndi Lauper at the Beacon Theater, and she would be like, at the end of the song, like, "Oh, can you turn my ear monitor up?" Like she would just say it out, and that's nobody minds. Actually, they think it's kind of cool, like to be part of what's actually going on. You don't have to be perfect for sure. Better if you're not. I struggle with that.
Yeah. I remember seeing Celine, I think it was Celine Dion. She was doing, it might have been like one of the Grammy performances or something like that, or Academy Awards. It was her and a piano. And her ear, in-ear was just like messing on. She just ripped it out. And she like ripped it out. You could tell she was annoyed and she just kept on singing. And I was like, whoa, yeah. That's talent, because no longer is it she was singing, didn't skip a beat. But then you have I remember seeing Guns N' Roses, and this was after there was the infamous in the 90s is Axl just stormed off stage after like 3 songs. I saw the first show back in whatever Buffalo Bills stadium was at that time, so it was the football stadium. I saw their first show back on the tour, and he got out there and he was pissed about something again, and he starts ranting and he pretends like he's like talking like he's going to walk off stage again. And then he started to and then stopped, and he's like, all right, I'm going to stay if you can fix my monitors. So he's yelling at the sound guy, and then another song goes by and he starts cursing out the sound guy, and he takes his microphone, he goes to the backstage, runs to the front of the processional, and tries to throw his microphone like 100 yards to the sound booth to try to because he was cursing out the sound guy, and then he starts ranting.
I feel so bad for the sound guy, but that is so on brand for Axl Rose.
I know. It's like, this is perfect. This is exactly what it is. All right, I'm going to wrap up with the last question here. I see promos and packages on SoundCloud and Spotify, and promoters have bots that follow and send their contact info. I was just wondering if there were examples of artists that have done it successfully. No artist has done bots successfully. Stay away from bots. Stay away from paid promos. Stay away from people saying, I can get you 1,000 Spotify followers in a week. Don't do it, because they know they're following, they're tracking this, they can see where bots are. And what happens is you might get away for a little while, but then, every few months, Instagram, Spotify, they kind of just purge all the bots. And when you start looking at statistics, and if you want to grow, and if you ever want to get signed to a label, and you're using bot statistics, the label's going to see right through you and just say no. So therefore, it's like, because they're going to look and they say, where are your listeners? Okay, if you are an Atlanta-based hip hop or rapper, and it's like, and they're looking at it, it's like, oh, well, like something in one particular area of India, you get 77% of your listeners are from India, and then the 20% are from Russia. Let's just use Russia bots, and another like 10% are from somewhere in Central America, and then you have like 2% from the Atlanta area. They know it's bots. Okay, they know.
I remember I remember during the big EDM thing, like when all the big EDM artists had so many fans in Mexico City. Like, you would think
Yep.
that Mexico City was like the mecca of EDM for the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody knew what that was. Um, you know, while major labels will use a bit of that, they also have enough of the other to like make it look like a more realistic climate, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't have that. And this is a big topic actually on our Wednesday Clubhouse meetup for Music Industry City. So if you are on the platform, I definitely recommend checking it out because there were a bunch of really great publicists in there talking about exactly this issue and that your money is really better spent on working with real publicists who are going to get you into, they even talked about actual like blogs still being
Mm-hmm.
relevant, which, it
Yeah.
just probably a better route, probably a better use of your money to go with regular publicists, not
R-
weird bot
Yeah.
things and playlists,
Yeah.
which, they mentioned that they will do some playlist stuff as well, but they'll do it in a way that's actual, that's not these ridiculous playlists that are listened to by bots, but that are playlists associated with a magazine, associated with an online publication, so that they have an actual following. So yeah, something to think about.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to spend money for imaginary friends and followers, or do you want to spend money for real friends and followers that you can convert and sell merchandise to? You can't sell merchandise to a bot.
Yeah,
Can I,
there
can I
you
use
go.
that? I'm going to use that as a statement. When somebody next time I'm like, you can't sell merchandise to a bot.
Anyhow, though, it's a great question because a
Yeah.
lot of artists have that question, and there's so much, there's marketing coming at you to use those services, and so it's a good question.
Cool. Right on. All right, I think we're going to wrap up for today. Also, and we did a video. If you go to the YouTube channel Music Industry City, there's a video with Adam Lewis, and we talk about radio and streaming and the power of radio, because there's still plenty of radio stations out there that are beneficial to musicians, like college radio. I mean, you're not going to break on a top 40 station or anything like that unless you have the power of a major label and you're a pop artist. But the thing is, there are still relevant radio stations out there that can help, and that's again why you would go with that type of company, is because they know how to plug you, they know how to get you into the radio, they know which markets are best for you, so your money isn't being splattered all over the place. It's focused on basically what is your goal, what are your career goals, what is your genre, what's your style, what's the markets that are right for you. That's what they do. That's why you're paying them, is because they understand how it works. And again, like Aisha said, it was talking about like getting you on the proper playlist that have to maybe do with the lifestyle brand or something like that, or a blog, and that's where the money goes. So Aisha, thanks so much as always, and we're going to do this
Yeah.
again next week. And I think I just want to recap. The video is radio versus streaming or something like that, and it's with Adam Lewis. It was from about 2 weeks ago, so if you want to check that out. All right, well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Great conversation, Aisha, as always. See you Wednesday on
As
Clubhouse, and
always, love being here.
see you next Monday, same time, same place.
Woo.
And I'm going to run the credits. Peace out, everybody. Bye.